Welcome back. A group of Mozambique's international creditors hope to soon start constructive debt restructuring talks with the heavily indebted African country, with follow-up high-level meetings scheduled in 4 weeks' time. Mozambique had tabled the key outlines of a three-pronged proposal to restructure roughly $2 billion in debt during a meeting with creditors in London on Tuesday. However, creditors has been swift to reject the advance, which included some steep write-downs. Following a second meeting on Wednesday, the global group of Mozambique bondholders said it hoped, with some adjustments, there could be good faith negotiations to reach a fair and equitable solution. And African leaders have agreed to form a $3 trillion continental free trade zone encompassing 1.2 billion people, although Nigeria and South Africa, its two biggest economies, failed to sign up, casting a shadow over the project. The African Union started talks in 2015 to establish a 55-nation bloc that will be the biggest in the world by member states in a bid to increase intra-regional trade, which sits at 15% of Africa's total commerce. Rwanda President Paul Kagame, host of an AU summit, called to conclude the initial negotiations, declared the meeting a success after 44 African nations signed up to establish the free trade bloc within 18 months. Others staying on the sidelines were Botswana, Lesotho, Namibia, Zambia, Burundi, Eritrea, Benin, Sierra Leone, and Guinea-Bissau. Economists point to Africa's low level of intra-regional trade as one of the reasons for the continent's enduring poverty and lack of a strong manufacturing base. And what is the likely impact of Nigeria's absence in the trade agreement on domestic commodities? Let's talk to one of the research analysts with financial derivatives company, Desola Sumoni. Hello, Desola. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So Nigeria is one of the countries that is stalling on the 2.5 trillion, approximately $3 trillion African free trade bloc. What are the broad economic implications of this?
Like you rightly said, Nigeria is stalling. They've not actually decided whether or not to join the trade agreement or not join it. The federal government has set up a committee to review the proposal and to get back to report in 2 weeks. And it's what is ironic is that Nigeria was actually leading the negotiations up until now, and at the last minute, Nigeria chickened out, or Nigeria chickened out of the agreement, saying that it needed more time for wider consultations and things along those lines. So I'm of the view, we're optimistic. I'm optimistic that Nigeria will eventually join the trade agreement, because it has tremendous benefits for Nigeria and for Africa as a whole. Currently, intra-African trade, like you rightly noted, is about 10% as of 2017. Compare that to 67% in the EU and about 58% in Asia. You can see that intra-African trade is low, and Nigeria and South Africa, I'm also optimistic that South Africa would also come on board. And if Nigeria and South Africa come on board, the UN Economic Commission for Africa has forecasted that if the two largest economies come on board, that intra-African trade would increase to about 50% in the next 5 years.
All right.
From that,
okay, go ahead, Desola.
Apart from that, I mean, from economic theory, we know that opening up to trade, the net total welfare, or the net benefit of opening up to trade far outweighs the cost, and is always positive. So Nigeria definitely has a lot to benefit, and I cannot even begin to list them right now.
All right, now, is there any likely impact on domestic commodities?
Currently, no impact, because like I said earlier, Nigeria has not decided yet. It is when they decide to either accept or to reject them, we can begin to see the impact. And even then, it will take a long time, because when Nigeria agrees or rejects the deal, the effects is not going to take place immediately. It's going to take a while. There are going to be some lags from when the action is taken to when the effect is felt on the markets. So for now, we don't think that it would affect domestic commodity prices.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Desola.
Thank you for having me.
Desola Sumoni is one of the research analysts with Financial Derivatives Company. And food company Nestle is working with Kenya farmers to increase land under coffee cultivation after a drop in production over the years. Kenya's coffee production peaked at 129,000 tons in 1988 and 1989, but has dropped steadily due to poor management and global price swings, pushing farmers to switch to other crops or sell their land.
Many coffee trees that once stood on the outskirts of Kenya's capital, Nairobi, have long since been uprooted, replaced by shopping malls and posh homes, driving a sharp drop in production of Kenya's premium beans. The trend is worrying for executives like Stephen Kans, who co-manages Nestle's partnerships with coffee farmers globally. Kans, who went to the German school in Nairobi in the early 1980s, says he was surrounded by lush coffee farms.
If you go now out there, there is real estate, there is now a big shopping mall, there's everything. The coffee has disappeared. So you have to go almost to the slopes of Mount Kenya to find still coffees. And I think this is a little bit where we have to see. We need to avoid being naive, you know, with the younger generation, with certification, with planting material. We have to make sure that there is really a good case to grow coffee. And for that, we have to have always a very, very local approach. There must be a Kenyan way, like there is a Vietnamese way to grow coffee, and then to make that build up.
Alarmed by a steep drop in Kenyan coffee production, Nestle, which buys 10% of the world's annual coffee, has been working with farmers to guarantee its supplies. Coffee accounts for the lion's share of annual sales for the multinational food and beverage company. Its Nescafe and Nespresso brands compete globally with rivals like Netherlands-based JDE. The company has been working with 42,000 small-scale Kenyan coffee farmers, investing $1 million in the project dubbed the Nescafe Plan to boost production and quality of the beans. For farmers under the Nestle initiative, production and earnings have been going up in recent years, offering a potential model for arresting and reversing the decline.
They help us grow our coffee. They also buy the coffee we produce at a good price, so we benefit. We're able to educate our children, eat well, buy clothes, and generally have stable lives.
Nestle, which is counting on growth in its coffee business to improve performance, works with a local milling and marketing company, Coffee Management Services, to train farmers regularly on fertilizer application, pest and disease control.
If we can have other partners, who are doing like Nestle, what Nestle is doing, I can tell you the multiplier effect in productivity in Kenya can be very high.
Kenya's harvest fell 12% in the 2016-2017 season to 40,700 metric tons, and that's according to government data.
And that's the wrap on the program. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagu.